Hello and welcome to this video lesson. We are now on week 2 of our subject, Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. For this lesson, we will be talking about regarding with concepts of culture and society. Before we proceed to our next discussion, please prepare your study notebook and your ballpen. Take note of the important data and details that you will gather from this video lesson. The objectives of our discussion will be the following. At the end of this topic, you should be able to analyze the concept, aspects, and changes in or of culture and society. Specifically, this discussion aims to, number 1, analyze the concept of culture and society. Number 2, determine the aspects and changes of culture and society. And lastly, reflect on the importance of culture and its impact to the society. So before we proceed to our discussion, let's have a review of our previous discussion from the week 1. So my instruction for this one is you need to read and analyze the following items. After reading it and analyzing it, write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is incorrect. You may use your study notebook in answering the following items that I will present on the next slide. Ready? Okay, that is good. We will proceed to the next slide. Okay, let's start. Okay, that's good. Number 1. Sociology is the science of society. True or false? Let's proceed for number 2. Social science is the study of societal relationship and society. True or false? Number 3. Anthropology is the study of governance. True or false? Number 4. Political science is the study of humanity. True or false? And last number 5. Franz Boas is the father of Philippine anthropology. True or false? So I think you are ready now for the checking. We will now check the answer for the following items. Are you ready? That's great. Let's begin. Number 1, the answer will be true. For number 2, the answer is true. Number 3 is false. Number 4 is true. And number 5 is false. Take note of your score and you may write it on your study notebook. We are now on this part of our lesson, and that is let's analyze this. On this part, you need to perform an activity. So that activity will be a creation of concept map with the following main words. You have culture and society. Therefore, you need to create 2 separate concept map. The first concept map will be regarding with culture, and the next concept map will be regarding with society. You can write many words as you can as long as it is related with the main words culture and society. You can write your answer to your study notebook. You can pause this video lesson while you are performing this activity. Afterwards, you can click the play button to continue this video lesson. Congratulations for finishing the first activity. I hope that your activity is somewhat similar to this presentation. Pero okay lang yan kung hindi. So, I have this particular concept map which is the collation of different words related with culture. And also, I have highlighted the following terms which is relevant to culture. So, isa-isahin natin kung ano yung mga relevant na term with culture. The first term is arts. Of course, arts is part of culture because arts is the product of human expression. Always remember that human is the one that creates culture. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng nagawa nating mga tao, produkto ng ating kaisipan, produkto ng konsepto natin bilang isang tao, ay pwedeng makasama bilang isang kultura. At lahat yon ay nakapaloob sa sining o sa arts. Next term will be ethnic. So ethnic is referred to group of people which have a similar characteristic or similar features. So part pa rin siya ng kultura kasi hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon ng culture kung wala kang particular na group of people to interact with. The next term is diverse. Obviously, lahat ng kultura sa mundo ay iba-iba. Dahil iba-iba ito, nagkaroon na ngayon ng mas malawak pang variation ang kultura. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, hindi lang iisa ang kultura. Maraming culture because of the diversity of the people itself. Always remember that tayo, mga tao mismo, ay iba-iba din. So, ibig sabihin, since ang kultura ay nakabase sa tao, iba-iba din ang magiging kultura natin dahil iba-iba din ang personality ng bawat tao. The next term will be community. Why community? Community is also a group of people or society. You cannot have culture without society. Mamaya malalaman nyo kung bakit. Bakit kailangan ng community or ng society para masabi na nagkaroon tayo ng kultura. Next term is human. Obviously, alam na natin lahat yon, diba? Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, kung walang tao, walang kultura. Kasi yung tao mismo ang gumagawa ng kultura. Okay? So, let's proceed to the next term, which is society. Hopefully, ganito ulit yung magiging answer ninyo. Let's proceed. So, the next concept map will be regarding with society. Similar with the previous concept map, I highlighted again the term which is relevant to society. So, isa-isahin natin. First term related to society is group. Okay? Definitely that society should be composed of group of people. So, again, hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-create ng society na ikaw lang. Society should be composed of group of people. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan marami tayo. Para pag marami na tayo, doon na tayo pwedeng mag-create ng society. Next term will be people. Okay? Obviously, from the term itself, yung kanina, yung group, kapag nagsama-sama tayo, kikreate na tayo ng isang madla. At itong madla na to ay mag-create na rin eventually ng society. Next term is teamwork. Okay? Teamwork is also related to cooperation, to unity, or to similar ideology, similar interest, or similar common goods. Itong mga factor na to ay pwedeng mag-contribute para sa pag-create ng society. And the next term is culture. Okay, always remember that culture and society are connected to each other. Sir, bakit po sila connected sa isa't isa? Remember that people or humans are the one that creates culture. And because of this, nagkakaroon ngayon ng common or shared interest because of culture. At kapag nagkaroon na sila ng shared interest or commonalities or interrelationship or connection sa isa't isa, mas magkakaroon tayo ng mas makabuluhang society. Okay? So hopefully, ganito yung mga kinalabasan ng concept map ninyo. Kung hindi man, that's okay kasi nag-uumpisa pa lang yung discussion natin. So stay tuned and listen carefully to our video lesson. Let's proceed. So for this part, let's process this. I will be presenting different questions and these questions will act as your guide for our discussion. Tignan nyo mabuti kung masasagot natin yung mga questions na to. First question, what is the meaning of culture? Also, what is the meaning of society? Then the third question, how our little ways can be categorized as culture. Ito bang yung mga ginagawa natin, yung mga produkto na nabuo natin, pwede na ba nating masabi agad na ito ay kultura? Ano ba yung basihan natin para masasabi natin na ito ay isang kultura? That is for number 3 question. Number 4, why it is important to have culture and society? Ano nga ba? Ano nga bang dahilan kung bakit merong kultura at merong society? So for this lesson, lahat yan masasagot natin. Okay. To begin with our discussion, let's focus to this phrase. Okay, Filipino culture is colorful. Do you agree with me? Sana oo, di ba? Sana naniniwala ka na ang kulturang Pilipino ay makulay. Sir, bakit? Bakit makulay ang ating kultura? Ang kultura natin mga Pilipino parang isang kari-karian or pinakbet kung saan ang daming ingredients na nandoon at ang dami mong malalasahan from it. And from that taste, doon nagkakaroon ng iba't ibang meaning, nagkakaroon ng iba't ibang context from that culture. So hopefully, throughout this discussion, mas marirealize natin that Filipino culture is really colorful. So I will be presenting different pictures and then try to interpret the following pictures. But don't worry, meron din akong sarili kong interpretation na ipapakita ko din sa inyo. So let's begin our presentation. The first picture will be this one. On this picture, makikita natin yung pagiging masaya natin mga Pilipino at at the time, yung garbo nung yung garbo nung event na pinapakita nito, pinakamagandang part ng pagiging isang Pilipino, and that is the celebration of Christmas. 'Di ba sabi nga nila, ang Pilipinas ang may pinakamahabang panahon sa pagse-celebrate ng Christmas. Because of this particular scenario, pinapakita ng Pilipino napakahalaga sa ating mga Pilipino ang konsepto ng pamilya to the point na tayo mismo ay ayaw umalis doon sa nakagisnan nating pamilya compare with other culture itself, di ba? And the next term is hospitating na Pilipino sa pagiging approachable natin. And that is one of our world-class characteristics. The third one is the happy point of view in life. Hindi ka Pilipino kung hindi ka masaya. Diba? Yan yung mga Pilipino. Kahit may disaster, and that is one of our best characteristic. Okay? And the next term is resilient. Also another good characteristic of Filipino people because we Filipino people are easy to adapt with. Kaya gustong-gusto tayo ng mga foreign employers, di ba? Kaya ang employers, ang bilis mag-adjust ng mga Pilipino. Okay? And from the particular aspect, it talks about the way of life of Filipino people. Okay? Pinag-uusapan niya kung gaano kasaya. Ano nga ba yung buhay ng mga Pilipino normally? Okay? Let's proceed to the next picture. The next picture, as you can see, it represents the different dialects of Philippines. Since ang Philippines ay archipelago, nag-create ito ng mas diverse pang kultura at diverse na society. Since we are separated geographically, nagkaroon din tayo ng separation ng iba't ibang society, nag-create ito ng panibago pang kultura. At ito ay makikita natin sa lengguwahe natin. Di ba? Sa ating mga dialektong sinasalita. Pumunta ka sa norte, iba yung salita. Pumunta ka sa sentral, iba yung salita. Pumunta ka sa timog, iba yung salita. Okay? So from these dialects, it will have a universal language, and that is the Filipino language. Okay? So this language help us express and convey message on its easiest form. This is also the reason kung bakit colorful yung kulturang Filipino. 'Di ba? Kasi pumunta ka sa ibang bansa, ang naiiba lang yung kanilang tono, yung kanilang accent, Pero sa atin, sa Pilipinas, hindi. Hindi ganun sa Pilipinas. Eh. Pumunta ka ng Norte, iba yung lengguwahe. Pumunta ka ng Visayas, iba yung lengguwahe. Pumunta ka ng Mindanao, iba yung lengguwahe. And that is one of the factors that gives color to the Filipino culture. Okay, so let's try to interpret this next picture. For this picture, as you can see, there is wangud, the batok or the ancient tattoo of the Filipino people, a painting by Amor Solo, and the weaving culture of the Filipino people. All of this is unique to the Philippines and it adds up to the color, to the spice of Filipino culture. Remember that this is part of the Philippine arts and it helped us to express our emotions and personality that eventually ito ay nagbibigay din ng identity sa ating mga Pilipino, 'di ba? Walang wangud sa ibang bansa, wala ding wangud sa mga iba pang lugar dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? Pag sinabing norte, agad mo maiisip, wangud yan. Okay? And of course, by means of paintings, Amor Solo is one of the famous artists by means of visual arts and the weaving culture of our country, which is a world-class perspective also. Next. So the next picture is about our religion. Okay? In Southeast Asia, tayo lang yung may pinakamalaking number ng Catholicism. And syempre yung mga kapitbahay natin din na bansa are on the Islamic religion, which is also part of the Filipino culture because this religion established our belief system. And this belief system has also an impact to the culture of Filipino people. And it adds spice to the culture itself. The next picture, one of the famous things in the Philippines is our food. 'Di ba? Pinakamasarap na pagkain na ata ang meron sa Pilipinas, okay? And of course, this one is also representing the culture of the Filipino people. Kumbaga, parang pag natikman mo yung lugaw, alam mo na agad, Pilipinas 'yan. Kapag nakatikim ka ng adobo, okay, Pilipinas 'yan. So, this particular aspect gives identity to the Filipino people. Kung gaano karami yung isla sa Pilipinas, bawat isla na yon may iba't ibang dishes, may iba't ibang specialty. Kaya naging mas maganda pa yung kultura ng mga Pilipino by means of foods. Napakasarap maging Pilipino. Yan, of course, our gestures, behavior, and habits, di ba? O, yung una, yung pagmamano natin, which is very Filipino and unique to our culture itself. And yung paggamit natin ng lips natin in giving directions, di ba? And the manana habit, mahilig tayo dyan mga Pilipino, procrastination. Then, sleepers, every time, lagi, kahit sa parte ng bahay, may sleepers. And then the bahala na attitude, and of course, ang makasaysayang tabo, kung saan nagbibigay sa atin ng identity na kapag nakapasok ka sa isang bahay ng isang Pilipino, kapag nakakita ka ng tabo or sa isang bahay na mayroong tabo, alam mo na agad, may Pilipino doon sa bahay na yon. Picture is about our tools, di ba? Especially to the pre-Hispanic era. As you can see here, the tools used by different ethnic tribes in the Philippines. And kampilan or the sword that used by different ethnic tribes during the pre-Hispanic era. And you also have the picture here from the National Museum giving you an interpretation regarding what kind of tools are being used during the pre-Hispanic era. And of course, yung pinakasikat sa panahon natin ngayon, yung balisok na tinatawag, which is a product of Batangas. So as you can see, tools are also part of culture or Filipino culture because in creating tools, it represents the identity or the way that the humans create it. Yung skills na in-apply dyan, yung craftsmanship na nilagay natin dyan, ay nagiging identity din natin that eventually, nasi-share natin sa ibang tao at ito ay naging parte ng kultura. Culture is our fashion, di ba? Very unique din. Okay? You have Baratsaya and of course, the costume of the northern tribes or the northern ethnic tribes of the country. And you also have the Tibulis costume. And of course, you have the Lumads and the Maranao clothing fashion style. So, pag tinignan mo, di ba, napaka-diverse ng kultura natin mga Pilipino that eventually gave color to the Filipino culture. So the next picture is architecture. Of course, this architecture gives color also to the Filipino culture. Di ba? From the ancient bahay kubo na naging bahay na bato. So as you can see in bahay na bato, this is a fusion between two culture, di ba? The pre-Hispanic culture and the Spanish colonial time here in the Philippines. So pinag-merge nila yung kultura, kaya yun yung naging result, bahay na bato, which is very unique, okay, from the rest of the world. Dito ka lang sa Pilipinas makakita ng bahay na bato. Sir, bakit tinawag na bahay na bato? As you observe, yung first floor, gawa siya sa stone, and then sa second floor, gawa siya sa wood. Okay, from the origin of the bahay kubo itself. So, nagkaroon ng panibagong identity. So, all of this is part of the Filipino culture. Of course, that is part of culture itself. So what is culture? Ano nga ba yung kultura? Culture is the features of our achievements as human or society. It means that this is the product of human knowledge. This is the application of our skills. This is the product of our relationship with other part of the society. So lahat yon ay parte ng kultura. This can be also defined as intricate system that can be manifested by the following, by means of our beliefs, practices, values, attitudes, laws, norms, artifacts, symbols, and knowledge. So, lahat ng yan ay pwedeng masabi na part ng kultura. So, napakalawak ng kultura itself. So what are different aspects of culture? Pag sinabi nating aspect, my dear students, it refer also to the characteristic. Okay? Ano nga ba yung mga bagay na magpapasabi sa atin na ito ay kultura? So let's begin. The first part is dynamic, flexible, and adaptive. Para masabi natin na ito ay kultura or characteristic ng kultura, dapat yung produkto na yon ng tao ay dynamic. Ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon ng innovation yung bawat tao kapag natatransfer na ito sa iba pang tao. Okay? Higit sa lahat, ito ay hindi consistent at all. Any moment, pwede siyang magbago or pwedeng magkaroon ng panibagong version. Example is our language, di ba? Language is very dynamic. Walang consistent na language on the first place. From the formal form of language of Philippines, 'di ba? Nakita natin nag-evolve yung language natin. Naging Jejimon hanggang sa nagkaroon na ng mga Becky language. Doon natin nakikita na ito ay dynamic dahil nagbabago-bago ito. At the same time, flexible siya kasi nag-a-adjust siya doon sa kultura o sa lugar kung saan nandoon yung particular na grupo ng mga tao. Diba? And of course, it is adaptive. Okay? Kung flexible, obviously, dapat adaptive din siya. Hindi natin masasabi na flexible ang isang bagay kung hindi ka naging adaptive at all. Okay? Next aspect is shared and contested. Yan yung sinasabi natin kanina. Dapat daw, yung isang produkto ng tao or achievement ng isang tao ay na-share natin doon sa ating society. At the same time, meron din dapat na nag-negative from that particular sharing of products or achievements of human knowledge. Okay? Next aspect is learn through socialization and enculturation. Ibig sabihin, ito ay natutuhan natin sa gamit ng ating lengguwahe, sa gamit kung paano tayo makipag-communicate. Next aspect, obviously, dapat ito ay natatransmit. Hindi pwedeng sa'yo lang. Kapag nasa iyo lang yan, hindi yan pwede masabing kultura. Dapat itong bagay na ito ay na-share natin at naipasa pa natin sa iba pang tao. On that manner, nagkakaroon na tayo ng tinatawag nating culture. Next aspect is patterned social interaction. Ibig sabihin, may sinusunod tayong trends. Okay? Nagkakaroon ng mga panibagong trends because of this particular human achievements. Next aspect is requires language. Yun nga yung sabi natin kanina. Diba? Hindi pwedeng ito ay naging kultura kung hindi naman ginamitan ng lengguwahe. Dapat nagkaroon ng language in transferring culture itself. So from all of this, pwede na natin ngayon makarakterize na ito ay kultura. Alam na natin ngayon kung ano yung ibig sabihin or mas malalim na ibig sabihin ng culture. So what are the different elements of culture? First elements is knowledge. Okay? Knowledge is also a form of culture. These are the things that part of our gathered information, our perception itself. Next element is beliefs or what is the accepted reality of that particular society that eventually natatransfer at nasa-share natin. Very good example is our superstitious beliefs, di ba? Yung mga pamahiin natin mga Pilipino, napakarami niyan. And that can be also classified as a part of culture. Next one is social norms. These are the established expectation of society. Okay? Or in layman's term, ito yung tinatawag nating standard. Ito yung sinasabi nating, ito yung dinidikta ng lipunan. Okay? And that is social norms. Maraming example ang social norms. Okay? Una, yung tinatawag nating folk ways or these are the repetitive pattern behaviors. Okay, ito yung mga bagay na matagal nang nasasalin at paulit-ulit pa rin natin nasasalin. Very good example are kwentong bayan, 'di ba? Yung mga stories na nasalin na throughout generation and generation na nagke-create na ng maraming patterns. The next one is mores. These are the set of ethical and moral standards, and we can also classify this as an example of culture. The next form of social norms is values, which help us to develop our personality. So our attitude, our behavior can be also classified as culture. The next one is technology. This is the practical application of our knowledge, which eventually will create product, will create achievements, and those tangible materials will now be part of culture. So from this particular way of life, language, arts, religions, and foods, together with the knowledge, social norms, mores, values, and technology, magkakaroon tayo ng kultura. So lahat yan ay part ng culture. So we have also different types of culture. The first type of culture is what we call non-material culture. So these are the intangible culture. It means that it has no physical appearance or hindi natin ito nahawakan at the same time hindi rin natin ito nakikita. Pero ito ay nararamdaman natin at na-share pa rin natin sa ibang tao. Example of this is our ideas. Our ideology can be classified also a non-material culture. Example of that is our idea that Filipino is hospitable, that Filipino is resilient. So those ideas are part of our non-material culture. The next one is our language and symbols can also be classified with non-material culture. Yung nakita natin kanina sa picture, yung iba't ibang dialects natin, that is part of non-material culture. The next one is religion and beliefs. And of course, our behavior, gesture, and habits. All of that is part of non-material culture. The next type of culture is what we call material culture. If non-material is intangible, therefore material is tangible. Ito na ngayon yung mga nahawakan natin, may physical appearance, at the same time, nararamdaman din natin. You have the tools or technological tools created by a particular civilization, yung katulad ng pinakita natin sa pictures. And you also have architectural designs or architectural structures which represent the identity of our society. Our fashion statement or our fashion style, and foods can be also classified as material culture. So, let's have a break time since nasa kaligitnaan na tayo ng ating discussion. Pero itong break time na to, you need to perform an activity. So, what is that activity? Let's proceed. Kindly or briefly explain the following concept. Number 1, please explain the meaning of culture. Number 2, what are the different aspects of culture? And number 3, the elements of culture. Once again, you can pause this video while doing this activity. Please write your answer to your study notebook. Is that okay? Very good. Let's proceed now to society. Ano naman ngayon yung society? Kung kanina, sa culture, sinabi natin that these are intricate system that can be manifested by our beliefs, our traditions, and etc. How about society? What is the meaning of society? Society is a complex network of people that are interconnected. Kung matatandaan nyo kanina dun sa concept map natin, di ba sabi natin that society should be a group of people which shares common interest or commonalities. So on that manner, magkakaroon sila ng relationship that will lead to interconnections. And from that interconnection, magsasama-sama sila ngayon at magfo-form na ng tinatawag nating society. Next one, organized group of people that shares a common interest or goals. Sir, bakit may highlight yung shares a common interest? Because this will lead to the creation of our culture. And that is the relationship between society and culture. Hindi natin pwedeng pag-isahin or paghiwalayin si society at si culture. Hanggat merong society, may kultura. At hanggat merong kultura, merong society. They are interconnected to each other or interrelated to each other to the fact that this culture will give identity to the society. And society will help culture to flourish it. Di ba sabi nga natin, ang kultura ay dynamic. So para magkaroon pa ng mas maraming variation, ng mas mayabong at mas magandang kultura, kailangan merong society. Dahil kapag merong society, may magpapatuloy ng kultura na nakagasnan natin. So remember that society is composed of family. And that family is what we call now as the basic unit of society. Sir, bakit basic unit of society? Remember that the first thing na nalalaman natin kung ano yung nagbigay sa atin ng identity at kung ano tayo ngayon, lahat yun ay nanggaling sa family natin. So therefore, there are the first group that expose us to different aspects in life, aspects in society. So what is the meaning of social change? Ito, panibagong topic naman to, no? So social change is variation or modification in social pattern. Sa madaling salita, nagkaroon ng pagbabago doon sa isang society na kinabibilangan natin. Itong pagbabago na to ay pwedeng dahil sa, number 1, politics. Nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa leadership, nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa governance, kaya nagkaroon ng pagbabago din sa lipunan. The next one, number 2, is health. Katulad nung nangyayari sa panahon natin ngayon. Because of COVID-19, suddenly, nagkaroon ng social change, nagkaroon ng modification to social patterns na nakagisnan natin. The third one is economy. Diba? Obviously, economy is the one that suffice the resources of a society. Without economy, hindi ka magpo-pursue or hindi na mag-evolve yung society mo dahil wala nang resources na magbibigay sa'yo. So, on that manner, kapag nagkaroon ng changes on that, magkakaroon din ng pagbabago dun sa lipunan. The fourth one is geographic or location, katulad ng bansa natin, di ba? Because Philippines is archipelagic, bawat isla ngayon nagkakaroon ng social changes, nagkakaroon ng social variation. At ang nakakatuwa doon, kung ano yung nangyayari doon sa isla na yon, sila-sila lang din yung nagkakaroon ng change on that. And the other islands, hindi siya affected. Kaya nagkakaroon pa ng variation, nagkakaroon ng mas magandang kultura dahil nagkakaroon ng mas diverse na perspective dun sa kultura natin. The next one is because of calamities and because of climate also. So all of this can contribute to social changes. Ano po bang importansya nitong social change na to? Remember that kapag merong social change, merong cultural change. Okay? Ano naman po yung cultural change? Cultural change is alteration to the elements of culture. Kung nagbago ang lipunan, definitely, magkakaroon din ng pagbabago sa kultura. At kung nagbago ang kultura, may magbabago din sa lipunan. Example, from this particular habit, yung pagmamana natin, but because of COVID-19, biglang nawala. Di ba? Nagkaroon ng social distancing. So, nagkaroon ng social change at the same time, nagkaroon din ng cultural change. So, makikita natin na interrelated talaga si society at si culture sa isa't isa. Hindi mo sila pwedeng paghiwalayin. So, let's have the discussion forum for this topic. So, anong gagawin ngayon sa discussion forum? On the comment bar of this particular video lesson, please complete and expound the following statement. Statement number 1 that you need to expound. Culture and society are related to each other because. Second statement. Society needs culture because. Third statement. Culture is unique because. Once again, you can pause this video lesson while answering this activity. To sum up our discussion for this day, I will give you some quotes. First quotes that I have found in the internet. A nation's culture resides in the heart and in the soul of its people. Diba sabi nga natin nung umpisa, kung walang tao, walang kultura. Dahil ang tao ang siyang gumagawa ng kultura. Kaya ang kultura ay ang identity ng isang tao. Ito din ang nagbibigay sa kanya ng personalidad. At doon nagkakaroon ngayon ng malalim na kahulugan kung anong ibig sabihin ng kultura at ano ang koneksyon nito sa ating lipunan. Next one. The beauty of the world lies in the diversity of its people. Habang dumadami yung kultura, mas lalo itong gumaganda. Remember that we are unique to each other. And from this uniqueness, nagkikreate ito ng panibagong kultura na nagbibigay yaman dun sa bansa, sa lipunan na kung saan siya kasama. Kung walang diversity ng tao, ang pangit naman kasi isang kultura lang yung sinusundan natin, isang kultura lang yung nagpapayaman dun sa lipunan natin. Pero kung mas marami tayong kultura, mas maraming diverse na tao, mas nagiging colorful yung kultura na meron tayo katulad ng Filipino culture. Because of our diversity, because of our geographic location, nagkaroon ng diversity of culture. At itong diverse na culture na to ang nagbibigay ngayon ng identity sa Pilipinas. At ito yung tinatawag nating Filipino culture. You should remember that walang magmamahal sa kultura ng Pilipinas kung hindi tayo ding mga Pilipino. Kaya dapat matuto tayong i-appreciate yung kultura nating mga Pilipino. Tandaan na ang Filipino culture is one of the richest and colorful culture in the world. That's why it deserves to be appreciated and to be loved. And that's all for our discussion. Thank you so much and see you to the next video lesson. Bye-bye!